3 DWIs, 2 assault of peace officers. You just got done with an interference and another eluding from a peace officer. You just pled to a DWI. This is 4 DWIs you have. You are not allowed out in the middle of the night. Do you understand?
Sir.
Eduardo Garcia Ibarra.
Morning, Your Honor.
Mr. Garcia Ibarra, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. Second offense, you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay.
On September 2nd, 2024, officers were dispatched to a possible intoxicated driver that crashed into the business at Jack in the Box. Defendant's vehicle was stopped in a parking space near the roadway. The vehicle had the engine on and the transmission was in reverse. The defendant was passed out behind the wheel. The officer put the transmission in park and attempted to wake the defendant verbally. And then after physically trying to wake him up, after waking up, the defendant pressed the gas pedal, causing the engine to rev up, then pressed the brake and gas pedals simultaneously. The officers observed red, watery eyes, slow, slurred speech, and a strong odor of an intoxicating beverage. The defendant immediately became belligerent and hostile with the officers when the officers attempted to have him exit the vehicle and detain him. The defendant was resisting and tackled one of the officers to the ground and then kicked him. The officer read the defendant his Miranda rights. The defendant stated, "I don't answer questions." The defendant attempted to spit on the officers throughout the contact. Due to the defendant's resistive state, standard field sobriety tests could not be conducted. The DIC was read and the defendant refused to provide any specimen. A blood sample warrant was also issued.
I see that you did pick up 2 felony assault of a peace officers. What other criminal history does he have, please, Ms. Davis?
Your Honor, he has a interference in July, and a DWI for 2022.
I mean, anything out of Harris County? Is it all just Harris County?
No, sir.
It's all just here?
Judge, there was a DWI out of Galveston in 2018, but it was dismissed.
Mr. Ibarra, I'm taking away your privilege to drive. You were not allowed to drive whatsoever. You will be signing an affidavit with me today promising me you're not going to drive, and if I find that you drive, I will have a contempt hearing. You'll be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time your happy-go-lucky butt gets into a car. I don't care what your excuse is. You cannot justify getting into a car and driving for any reason whatsoever. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You will be required to obtain a handheld interlock device that you're going to take with you everywhere you go to prove to me that you're not consuming alcohol. But I'm going to put a monitor on your ankle so I know that we're doing it the right way and that you're not going to skip tests.
Yes, sir.
This thing must be charged on a daily basis. If the battery dies, so do you. I will put you in jail and I'm going to make your bond in the felony amount. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
What do you do for a living, sir?
I'm a pipe fitter.
What are your hours of operation?
What's that? My
What
hours.
hours do you work?
I'm working night shift right now. I'm working night shift.
I'm putting a curfew on you. I don't want you out in the middle of the night.
I'm gonna be at work. The other judge told me I'm supposed to get a GPS. I'm gonna go through all that stuff right now.
Say that again?
The other judge from jail, he told me to get a GPS.
Yeah.
And
I don't want you out in the middle of the night.
he said,
This is three DWIs, 2 assault of peace officers. You just got done with an interference and another eluding from a peace officer. You just pled to a DWI. This is 4 DWIs you have. You are not allowed out in the middle of the night. Do you understand?
Sir.
Your curfew will be from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning. What I would advise you to do is go to your job and do whatever you can to start working the day shift, because I'm not allowing you out in the middle of the night. And if I find that you're out, there's only one place that you're going to go, Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I'm also ordering you not to have any contact with the officers, these cases as well. I will waive the fee for you as far as the scram device is concerned, and I want you to really appreciate that, because if I didn't waive the fee for you, you would be on the hook for about $400 to $500 a month on that thing.
Thank you.
You will be required to hire your own lawyer. So we're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer, but I would get on it quick. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You have 1 day to get the GPS monitor and the ankle monitor as well for alcohol. You consume any alcohol whatsoever. And I'm telling you, I will notate everything that we're going here, so that if you try to come here and tell me the excuse that you're consuming mouthwash, you have any problems whatsoever, you ate a piece of cake and it had alcohol in it. Any alcohol that's in your body, you will go to jail. I'm going to have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. After that, I'll get you to Victoria where you will sign a reset, and then you will get with pretrial for your bond conditions. After that, we'll let you go. You
Thank
are
you.
on a very short leash, Mr. Garcia Ibarra. You're out there in the free world now. You better really make some better decisions, because if not, I'm going to do everything in my power to protect the public for every single person who is a danger. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
It's high time that you get it. With all these DWIs and assaults, I'm done with it. Oh, Mr. Betancourt, Mr. Betancourt. So not only do you miss court on multiple occasions, but you have bond violations, and you want me to take this time served? Really? You want me to reward you with a slap on the wrist when all you do is violate condition after condition after condition? Really? What sense is there in that, Mr. Betancourt?
I mean, I was just,
Your excuses go in this ear and they go out that ear. Actions speak. Words. If my kid makes a mistake, I say, okay, that's all right. And he makes the same mistake again. I say, come on, man, please. I've told you before. He says, I'm sorry, Dad, really, I'm sorry. And then he makes the same mistake again. And he says, Dad, I'm sorry. What value is there in that sorry, Mr. Betancourt? Blah, 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 blah. You sound like Elmer Fudd, man. Your sorry means absolutely nothing to me. And I'm going to do this for you, though. But this is what I'm going to do for you, also to you. I will take this plea today. And one day, you're going to think back to this day and go, damn it, I had this dismissal on my hand, and now I've got this. You will be required to pay the DPS fines, fees, and surcharges. I will take this plea. Owen, I absolutely love you, and I will take this plea. But you will be required to pay $3,700.50 for all the fines and fees. And if you don't pay, guess what happens?
You're locked up?
For every $100 you owe, you will sit in jail for 1 day. And if you owe $3,700, is this a 0.15 or above? What is this?
to be.
Guess how many days in jail you will be doing? Because the first time you don't, I will order you to jail and you will be sitting. And if you don't believe me, we had one didn't we have one here yesterday? Same thing, remember?
I want to say it was yesterday or the day before.
So this conviction will go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life, Mr. Betancourt. And I'm going to tell you that if you ever get in a car, you're pulled over, officers will see your record. You think they're going to be nice to you? Right. From now on, you'll be facing a minimum of 30 days in jail. And if you ever come back to this court, I'm going to light you up so bad. You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, There are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. So once you accept this agreement, you can never come back and change this or challenge this. Do you understand?
Understood.
How do you plead to this offense, sir? I will find you guilty. I'm going to suspend your license for 1 year. How much is the court cost?
We don't know yet until we enter in, we'll know.
Okay.
He can have Steve and we'll.
You will be, like I said, you will be required to pay all the fines, all the court costs. There's a $3,000 DPS surcharge that you're going to be required. On top of that, I'm also going to add the court cost that you're going to be required to pay. I'm going to say that somewhere in the neighborhood of around $500 to $600 at a minimum, you're going to be required to pay. Now, I'm not that bad of a person. I'll give you about a year to pay it off. But if you don't pay it, you know exactly what happens. You're on notice. Forewarned is fair warned. And I'm going to tell you, you ever come back to here with another DWI, the next one, you're looking at around $7,000 to $8,000 in surcharge. And if you want to keep paying it, okay with me. Good luck, Mr. Papercourt.
So you're going
Let's see.
Let's see how much it is, and then I'm gonna calculate it.